Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy. Let's be honest. Loving your partner doesn't mean you always like them, and guess what? That's normal. Regain, powered by BetterHelp, offers couples therapy that's flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Whether you're reconnecting or working through conflict, Regain is here to support you both. See why people wish they'd tried couples therapy sooner. Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/couplespod.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Change of plans. We're going to get to baseball and the card coming up tonight in 15 minutes. Jonathan Von Tobel, bottom of the hour on the NBA Summer League card, his best bets for tonight. Here a little bit more. We'll expand on what we were talking about with Chris Massaro. He gave you the teams that he's going to war with this year in college football and the NFL. And he brought up Oklahoma as a team that he absolutely loves this year. And, 100-1 to win the national title. Shop around for that price. And also, if you want a better price on the quarterback to win the Heisman, here's their schedule overall, Pauly. They get Michigan at home in week 2. So that's a tough one. They obviously play Texas. That's going to be in Dallas. They play at South Carolina the week after that. Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Bama, Missouri, and then LSU, both games at home to close the season. I'm seeing plus 525 to make the playoff.
Not bad. As I mentioned, Phil Steele's high on them, and then what's the record to get in? Do you get a 4-loss team that gets in?
Or
man. Could 9-3 do it? Could certainly you'd have the benefit of the SOS in your back pocket there as well. So
I don't think 8-4 is going to do it anytime soon.
Yeah, and 9-3 is going to be tough to get to, but if they're
9-3, you think they're going to get in?
Yeah. With that schedule, yes.
So if
you're going to have some big wins. And then
if you tell me they're 9-3, I'd bet them plus 525. Sorry to cut you off.
And you're looking around the landscape, too. I mean, that's what's so fascinating about Phil Steele's preseason top 40. He's got Penn State 1 and Clemson 2. And a lot of people just be outraged by that and just say, well, I'll believe it when I see it, right? But certainly if those teams are playoff teams, Buckeyes, Texas, Georgia, possibly Oregon, Bama, you have to dismiss Miami. You have to prove me wrong with Cristobal, even though you get Beck in there, but they couldn't stop anything last year. I like SMU. There's good value on SMU, but I think this thing, and the Big 12 is wide open. Wide open. So how many do they get from that conference? But, Phil Steele picked him, I think, in like a 3-way tie, but he has some Baylor love. What happens with Arizona State, Kansas State? Kansas State's got a huge game in Ireland against Iowa State to start off. So it's there's some value there with who's going to make the playoff, and certainly I think Phil's picking up something there. He's onto something rather with Oklahoma.
Okay, all right. Can you expand a little bit on the Big 12? Like exactly how high is he on Arizona State? That's the team that I bet right away when the odds came out last year. I bet him at 300-1 to win the title here at Circa.
He had I think he had some Kansas State, Baylor, and Arizona State love.
They're all pretty much
all
bunched close up there.
Yes, right. And things have gone sideways now with the quarterback situation with BYU. Colorado lost a ton of people. Oklahoma State's going to be awful. They're going to be down. So, and then I can't do it. Utah pissed me off so bad last year.
I'm out.
Where can you stay healthy and then rising with the injury? Is he in? Is he out? What's going on? Is the game pass? What did he end by? All that stuff. What happened? So Texas Tech also getting some love though too. You're seeing as low as plus 650 in some spots to win the conference.
South Carolina 60-1 to win the national title. I thought they had a pretty strong case to make the playoffs last year. Didn't do it. I mean, you could say that about like all the 9-3 teams that were on the edge there of getting in, and they couldn't make it in. Bama, Miami, obviously. But I know that there's a lot of love for South Carolina as well this year. I haven't read Phil Steele yet. Is he like?
Yeah, down the
board
they should have better odds than Tennessee, though, right?
I would agree with that.
I think it should have better odds than Florida too. But certainly, what Chris mentioned as well, that is from a playoff standpoint, that is a tough start for Baylor. But can you navigate it? Yes, you're at home against Auburn, and then you go to SMU. I mean, if you can go 2-0 right there, you're sitting pretty.
I would say. Who is his sneaky team this year? He does that every single year where it's like, my sleeper is going to be this team. And usually over the course of like the last 25 years, it's been pretty rock solid.
I think it was Oklahoma.
Was that the team? Well, that would make sense then, obviously, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But and in the lower conferences, too, there's a lot of intrigue as well. But I know Paul Stone gave out UTSA to win the American, and Tulane's the favorite. And then also what happens out here, and we got media days next week here at Circa with the Mountain West. If Boise has another big year before they go to the Pac-12, or is it Mullen with UNLV? And what happens from a lower league standpoint? Who sneaks in there?
Did Chris Massaro, when he was in studio in the previous hour, it was awesome. We've had amazing guests all week long. If you missed any of it, you can always go back and listen on the Follow the Money podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Did he win you over with either Alabama or specifically Clemson here? Because that's a team that I've been focusing on now. And Von Tobel actually brought that up to me earlier in the week. Like, that's a great leg to have, I think, on cross-sport parlays. It's just Clemson to win the ACC, because when you look at it, I think what Chris said is exactly spot on. There's a chance here where they are like head and shoulders above every other team in that conference this year.
That could be, yeah. Between Massaro and also Steele, I'm there with Clemson, and then the rest of the conference, but plus 110 to win the league. But Alabama is going to have to be a stronger sell job. It's got to be more than, based on what happened last year in the controversy, and do they have the right coach? That's the other thing.
Well,
how bad was it? I like the guy, but the defense was awful.
Terrible. But his
point,
come on,
they weren't. That's the other thing. The stupid league crying about this, and they got robbed, and they got this, and Kiffin with the crying. You lost to Kentucky at home. You couldn't beat Florida as a 2-touchdown favorite. Yep. Alabama, you got boat raced by a bad Oklahoma team.
That's correct.
You lost to Vandy. Get out.
You had no business.
No.
So
you can keep complaining. I mean, you lost to bad teams.
But Massaro's point, though, I think is spot on and needs to be talked, and it will be talked about a lot in the next, upcoming weeks. But the fact that DeBoer is going back and he has Grubb now as the offensive coordinator,
that's huge, yes.
I think that would have been huge for Milroe last year. And that was, I bet Milroe for the Heisman. My biggest trepidation for that was actually the fact that Grubb was not there. I would have liked it even more had he taken the OC job in Alabama, but he didn't. And now this year, I think despite not having Milroe anymore, I mean, who, by the way, was, after the first month, extremely shaky, I thought, for the most part, you have to love that, because it was so incredible, the job that they pulled off there with Penix and Washington the previous year.
How about Notre Dame? That's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about Alabama, but there's the biggest brand, Notre Dame. And it's like, okay, well, they only lost a couple games with their schedule, put them in too, and they're great for business. And what they did last year, that's another one. And they're got to be a big factor. Up at the website today, VSiN.com, Matt Humans, 5 Super Bowl bets to consider right now. The Rams' love affair continues. They're on there, and Matt made the case in the guide as well, 22-1. But his first bet of the offseason was the Rams at 30-1 in March. You made the same play you referenced in the article. Bengals 20-1. We didn't talk about them. Mackinnon has them same as San Francisco. Tied for 11th.
I think it's about right.
Yeah. It all comes down to the defense, though. Can you stop anybody? Burrow led the league in passing yards and touchdowns.
That's why I can't
make
the
playoffs.
Bengals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just the defense too shaky.
You're high on the Vikings. Humans has them 30-1. Makes the case as well. Okay.
Can I give you?
And he's high on the Broncos too. 40-1.
I mean,
over 9.5 wins to win the division. And Chuck Esposito, bookmaker at Stations. It wouldn't be a stunner to me if the Chiefs don't win their division. The blowout in the Super Bowl was a reality check for them. Denver returns 20 starters.
And then Matt's going to go contrarian, by the way, and he thinks the Steelers at 67-1 is worth a number.
Well, here, yeah, based on the price, yeah.
Right, of course, yes.
Yeah. Like it's like double that in most spots.
Right.
So the crew here not buying them, and that's Rodgers is certainly intriguing.
Let me give you a couple of other quotes here from Ed Salmons, who is awesome, longtime odds maker over at the Westgate. On the Rams, he said, quote, if you look back, the Rams gave the Eagles their best game. The Rams are so much more of a complete team than the 49ers, but the only issue is the schedule. If the 49ers don't win 10 games, they should fire everyone because their schedule is so easy.
I agree with that.
And he said, he finished off the quote by saying, I don't like the 49ers team at all.
That's harsh.
He also
There's
said,
a lot of talent. Come on.
He also said on the Vikings, quote, they can't stop betting the Vikings. I'm not a Darnold guy, but there's no way McCarthy can be that good in his first year.
Okay, I see that. I can see that.
I don't think he has to be amazing, though.
No.
That's the thing.
No.
Yep, same thing with Mike Palm. Well, I mean, he said that a couple weeks ago. Their win total opened up 8.5. And they had to. They took so much money on the Vikings over win total. And they do alt numbers here too. Yeah. They actually moved their regular win total a full game to 9.5 on Minnesota. Yeah, I'm not there with the Steelers either. I can't do it.
Big bet on the Lions down the street at the Westgate, $20,000 at 10-1.
Healthy.
And at DraftKings, their biggest liability is the Lions as well, but nothing here at Circa.
You know that Warren Sharp, great preview book, awesome. I recommend that you read it every single year. He said this year that the Lions are the team. I said that last year about them. Could not have loved a team more than I loved the Lions last year. He loves them this year because of the schedule spots.
What do you say about a win total? Because I think Campbell's coach of the year if they can win 12,
no,
13
he thinks they're the nuts this year.
Schedule. The schedule is just it's
so,
outrageous.
And as he'll point out, it's maybe not, it's who you play, but it's also when you play them. They have a rest advantage in so many of their games.
Yeah, right. But I also agree with Massero. We know what Goff's like in the elements.
And
that's what they're up against.
And
last year.
I think Ben Johnson, the loss of him could be huge.
Yeah. Need a proxy? Join the world's biggest football contest with one trip to Vegas anytime before the season starts. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons, Winner Circle Proxy Service helped clients win over $9.3 million the last 2 seasons. Learn more about using a trusted proxy service. Visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. winnercircleproxy.com.
All right, bottom of the hour again. Jonathan Von Tobel, his best bets tonight on the NBA Summer League. All tickets, cash the same. Up next, a strong card in Major League Baseball. A lot of really fun matchups that we have on paper anyway. And how about this? 11 straight unders when facing this team. They have been on a mission. Find out which team it is next here on VSiN.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy. Let's be honest. Loving your partner doesn't mean you always like them, and guess what? That's normal. Regain, powered by BetterHelp, offers couples therapy that's flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Whether you're reconnecting or working through conflict, Regain is here to support you both. See why people wish they'd tried couples therapy sooner. Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/couplespod.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Fun Major League Baseball card tonight. Some pitching matchups, just some matchups based on the teams, like this one, Pauly. The Cubs and the Yankees playing. Flexen goes against Rodon. Flexen hasn't pitched more than 4 innings in a single game all year. ERA, however, below 1. The whip is 0.86. And Rodon at home, 5-3 in 9 starts, a 3.25 ERA and 10 Ks per 9. The Cubs in the last month and a half, give or take.
Where is this? Is this who's this? Circa?
Yeah.
This was as high as $2. $1.90. Now it's $1.58 Circa. It's $1.70 at DraftKings.
Huh.
Ton of Cubs money here coming in.
Let me check the screen here.
Yeah.
To see what other spots are showing, at least in this state anyway. Cubs have not been good against lefties. They've been like bottom half of the league, or at best like average with some of their key numbers.
I know. Do you trust Rodon? I mean, he got lit up his last start. The Cubs can rake. Maybe Flexen holds them in check. I just think this is too much for the Yankees. You know, he got 11 straight overs now after the 16 straight unders. Incredible. What a sport. And then what they're doing offensively, 5+ runs, 9 in a row. But I just think that was too high, and people agreed, and now it came down. So,
man, look at some of these splits, by the way.
40% move, yeah.
Here at Circa, minus 158 on the Yankees, plus 142 on the Cubs. I'm looking at like other books. They have a 31-cent split on the game. Minus 172 on the Yankees, plus 141 on the Cubs. Come on, guys. Tighten that up a little bit. That's awful. You're going to get better numbers on either team here at Circa. Come on, that's a joke. You got to have better numbers than that on baseball games. The market then would agree with that, Paul. I mean, with what you said, $2 too high.
Yep. Some spots, Reds keep taking money. They've won 12-13 against Colorado. Burns $2.65 against Marquez, and Scooble's up to $3 against Castillo in Seattle. After that gut-wrenching loss, they blow the 5-0 lead. Forget about the no-hitter. Can't even win the game. And the numbers on Scooble just staggering. Last 16 starts, 10-0 with a 1.62, 138-10 strikeout walk ratio.
So his K props are always pretty high.
Yeah.
As a result,
fine though. It's no problem.
Yeah, full year I have him at 12-7 to the over, which is
Going
like
back though. I'm saying, yeah.
Oh yeah. And his last 2 starts, he's had 10-13.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when I watch like his best games, I think to myself, how the hell does he ever lose a game? And how does he ever stay under his K prop?
Mm-hmm.
The guy can be so good for so many stretches in a row.
Yep.
But look, I mean, I think this one here, $3, and they're only, that's on the first 5 actually. So I want to get the exact price here on the run line. Earlier today when we were looking, it felt like it was kind of a cheap run line price.
130, yeah.
Although they're at home.
Not bad. Yep. Yeah. I like Cleveland coming right back in game 2. They won game 1 of the doubleheader 4-2. They beat the White Sox 8 in a row. After that long losing streak, the Guardians have won 4 in a row now, and Cannon has bad numbers against Cleveland going back 0-2 with an ERA of 8. I like Williams and Cleveland, $1.30.
Oh my God!
2.
They're as low as $1.19 right now.
Okay, even better.
Is this the fishy game of the night? All of a sudden, with money coming on the White Sox, is it like, you know what? They lost game 1. They're not going to lose game 2 of the doubleheader.
What's the highest you've seen on the Jays now? 190, 40-cent move on the Jays. Everyone knows about these horrendous Severino numbers, and Toronto's hot.
I see minus 181.
Okay. That's another one. Okay, that was $1.50 yesterday. We were talking about it.
Well, let me expand on that because that's to pay off the tease here. That's the team I was talking about before the break. For those who don't know, opposing starters are currently 11-0 under their K-prop against the Blue Jays. Severino's prop tonight is 3.5, heavily juiced to the under. In fact, there was one book earlier today, a national book, that moved it from 3.5 to 2.5, and then they juiced the over on that. We had Kevin Rogers on 2 hours ago, has great baseball numbers. He was actually making the case that Severino at home can get to 5, like quite often. He thinks that if you can find like a really nice plus price and over 3.5, he thought it might be worth it tonight.
Jays will be in first place at the break for the first time since 1993. if all goes well here in this weekend set. They swept the A's at home in a 4-game set in May, outscored them 39-18. And the hideous numbers on Severino, the A's have lost 10 of his last 11 starts, and at home 0-8 with an ERA of 7 and change. And that's why you see all the Toronto money here with Scherzer in the total 10.5 up to 11.
What's the play then, in your opinion?
Everyone seems to like the over 5.5 team total Toronto.
Okay. Would you look at maybe over in the first 5 as well combined?
I don't mind that either.
Oh.
That's fine too. Yep. Already gave out the Giants and Webb $1.30. $1.35 in that range. Dodgers haven't lost 7 in a row since 2017, but May has an ERA of 6 and change on the road. You got to love Webb at home, and they would take 2 out of 3 here. We got a race in the West.
Sure.
And if the Giants can get the bats going, I think they'll come alive tonight. And that's one I gave out yesterday in bet as well.
All right, so here's more on Webb, and the reason why you have to love him at home. 9 starts on the year. And by the way, this has been a thing for him like every year for several years in a row. At home, he's just phenomenal. 4-1, 59-plus innings pitched, a 1.52 ERA, and the whip is 1.11. The whip's not elite, but still definitely manageable. He's actually better when he's at home and at night, which is where he's at tonight. The numbers are actually better. So he's also recorded 6-plus innings pitched or made it 6-plus innings in every home start but one, and that was a fluke because it happened against the Royals offense. He's allowed, in those 9 starts, 0 earned runs 3 times, 1 earned run 3 times, and 2 earned runs twice. In that Royals game, he allowed 3 runs. Webb, against this current Dodgers roster, 210 plate appearances. Doesn't have phenomenal numbers overall, 303 average, 361 WOBA, and only a 14.8% K rate. And here are 2 players, if you're going to look at player props tonight, but I'm with you, Pauly. I like a Webb, by the way, minus 145 in the first 5 as well in this game. That'll tell you. But Freddie Freeman in his career, 15 of 40. That's a 375 clip with 3 doubles and a home run. Mookie Betts, 15 of 38, a 395 average with 2 doubles and 2 home runs.
A lot of good numbers there. Simeon, 390 against McCullers. Soto, 445 against Waka. Iglesias, 600 against Suarez. Marte, 433 against Anderson.
All right. McCullers does not have good numbers against this Rangers roster.
Yeah, but this is tough, too. They got in at 5 in the morning.
Sure.
That's what you're going up against with that. But he was good last time out. It certainly helped to get all that run support as they punished the Dodgers. How about you want to take the Cardinals? Is that your fishy line?
Well, Grant Holmes can be lights out.
Okay. But the Braves stink.
Oh, of course they do.
And St. Louis, 4-0 in his last 4 starts. He's 3-0 with a 2.2 ERA. Liberatore. $1.20.
Mm-hmm. He's been a little bit too up and down for me. Liberatore. The Phillies number, you mentioned this earlier. You like him a lot. I can't bet it because it's too high of a number, but it's clearly a pitching matchup here as Ranger Suarez takes the hill tonight for Philadelphia. His last start was only the second time he did not record at least 18 outs the entire year. The other start was in his first start of the season. So in between, he had 10 straight starts where he went at least 6 innings, 6+ Ks in 5 straight starts. Opposing lefties do not strike out a lot of Padres. Their K rate is only 19.3% when they face lefties. However, since June 1st, they don't have, their WRC plus is at 96. That was bottom half of the league. Their WOBA is in the same territory. Yeah. They're not striking out, but they're also not really doing any damage either.
Atlanta's second worst ROI, down 25 units on the season. 25 units.
What are the Rockies down?
35.
35, huh?
Yep.
Do you remember what the White Sox were last year, full season?
I can't remember. I know. I can't remember. I can see if they looked that up. Toronto's number 1. You're up 13 units. Houston's number 2. Then the Tigers, then the Angels, and then the Brewers. Colorado the worst, followed by Atlanta. White Sox down 15 units. Pirates down 11 units. And the Twins are down 10 units. They have a 14-game winning streak or something. 13-game winning streak. Still down that many units. Want to know where the money's really going? And like other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you the insight into where the sharp action's landing. See the percentage of bets, first percentage you handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits as little as $9.99 for your first month at VSiN.com/subscribe. Everyone loves it. Get it now, $9.99, VSiN.com/subscribe.
Well, okay, so if you want to make the case for the Cardinals, would you also bet them in the first 5? Because the Braves are 2-10-3 in the first 5 in their last 15 games.
There it is, and they don't score either.
No, it's been a major problem.
Right, yep.
The Pirates are 1-7 with 8 pushes in their last 16 on the road. The Rockies are 3-10-7 in their last 20. The teams to the good, the Brewers are 12-2-5 in the first 5, their last 19. Rangers are 11-4, and the Red Sox are 7-1-2 in their last 10. Also, opposing pitchers are on a 12-2-1 underrun with their K-prop against Milwaukee. Pretty strong.
Good numbers.
Day 2, Las Vegas Summer League rolls on. We have 5 more games to bet on tonight. Jonathan Von Tobel joins the program up next to assess the betting numbers. Find out what he likes here, coming up on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Day 2 of the Las Vegas Summer League going on. We are in the middle of a wild one as we speak, and we head out here to the Progressive guest line. Jonathan Von Tobel joins the program now, host of Money Moves along with Stormy Buonantony. Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific right here on VSiN. JVT, thanks, man. Have you been watching this Hawks-Heat game? Because I'm looking at the box score right now, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye in the book when we were live on the air. They had a 11, 12, 13, the whole time in the fourth quarter point lead, and now they're trailing. They're going to lose the game. What the hell happened?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. So I've had this on a little bit. We were full disclosure out of the pool for a little bit as well. So we were watching this out of the corner of the eye. But I will say this: I think Atlanta is a little bit of an underrated team. You know, as much as you can be in a format like this. Kobe Buffkin today has, what are we looking at here, 25 points on 6 of 16 shooting. He's 11 of 11 from the free throw line. He has 3 assists, 3 rebounds. They're plus 11 in his minutes. He's a third-year guard, right, that his career has been disrupted by injuries to the first 2 seasons. He's played less than 30 games. You've got Obi Toppin's brother Jacob out there. You've got 2 big guys that really played well at the college level, led by Nelly Jr. Joseph and others. I thought this was a roster that was kind of undervalued. The market thought so too. I mean, to your point, like they were down this whole game, but the market bet them down. Like we were talking about them catching 5 at the open. They closed as 2-point underdogs. They're going to win this game outright. I like this Hawks team a lot. They're one of the 3 futures that I've got, but they might be a team to play on, Mitch, if the market doesn't. If the market does not adjust its perception of this team as we move forward into the Summer League.
Good point.
Start.
Yeah.
What a start. Based on the opening number, 1 team is covered. Based on the opener.
Is that right?
1 team's covered. And 2 big
think
upsets
about Paul,
here.
like we've had so many of these, like what was it yesterday? The market was all over Brooklyn, right? And then that thing went from like 4.5. Yep. OKC was a 4.5-point favorite. Closed Brooklyn -1 in some spots. Brooklyn, OKC, I think was the one you're talking about, where they ended up winning by 9 on the final closing score. So I don't know if you guys know this, but it's hard to handicap the Summer League, it would seem.
Yes. My God.
It is? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, by the way. The Hawks, we're kind of in unison here. I think we have futures on the same 2 of the 3 same teams anyway. I took the Hawks. When I saw, by the way, great job by you putting these rosters all together and putting them on the website and tweeting them out as well. I saw their roster, and I'm like, that's actually pretty decent. And I looked at the odds, and I saw like 80-1. I'm like, what am I missing here?
Yeah, so I've got them, 80-1 on them. Thunder at about 15-1, and then the Grizzlies, who lost today. And for your audience, I'm sure you guys have gone over this, but maybe if you're just tuning in, it's tough when you start an 0-1 hole, just because when you look at those 4 regular season games, as I call them, you got to pretty much go undefeated or 3-1 and beat the crap out of your competition to get onto the playoffs. So the fact that the Hawks, it looks like you're going to start 1-0, same thing with the Thunder yesterday. It's a pretty big deal, and we'll see what these other teams do, obviously, as we move forward. But, yeah, the Hawks, I thought, again, as much as you can evaluate these teams, right? I think it was Will Hill or I was talking with Zach Cohen. Like, really, it's just looking at rosters and going, I like that guy.
Yeah.
I like that guy. I like that guy.
True, true.
And then trying to put this all together and how they're going to fit. And I think the Hawks are one of those teams that could work pretty well together.
Yep. Thanks, JVT. It is 2. OKC was a 4.5-point favorite. They went off the dog, but they won by 9, so 2 favorites have covered if you're going on the opener. Thanks for that. Do you like this Laker roster? And I know Connect had finally a good game. Mitch mentioned he likes Strider. I like Stewart. What do you think of the Laker roster?
Yeah, I think it's good. And dare I say, I think I'm allowed to say it, I like Bronny James. Like, I think Bronny in this format, is a guy who can work pretty well. He had some pretty good defensive moments yesterday. Obviously, the internet is always just going to mock the attempted three at the end of the game, but I think overall he just looks a lot more comfortable. And I think a guy like Connect is desperate to really show out in a format like this. Like the end of that year did not go particularly well. Remember at one point he was the favorite early on to win Rookie of the Year, and then it really just flamed out after that. And he is the archetype of the player that you really want. You know, in the article that Mitch mentioned, Paul, I broke down kind of like the three traits that you want in a team, and one of them is those second or third year guys that played good minutes for their respective team. This is going to look like, you know, the Matrix for them, right? In terms of the game speed, this is going to look really slow, and he's one of those guys that this should be a format in which they thrive, and we saw that a little bit yesterday too. So I would say yes, like given just how much you can like a team with the construction and being together for like 3 days and then going into a format like this, I think that this is a team that you like. I also think though too, like I was telling this to Mitch, the more I look at all these rosters, Paul, the more I'm like, you know, I kind of like this roster too. So I'm going to be really curious to see how some of these play out because there's a lot of good players on these rosters, it seems, this year.
I did that with Charlotte, right? Like if it works, like 35-1 to win the Summer League, okay, I'll take a little bit of that. And now the market is on that team tonight. In fact, it just moved to 4.5 on the Jazz at one book here in town. Shop around, definitely. It's either Utah 4.5, 5, or 5.5, total of 180. But obviously a lot of steam here. Overall, I should say, or hype on Utah entering this event anyway.
Yes, and I'm with you. So I'm with the crowd that's on Charlotte today. I took a little of 5.5 with them because I just, like you've mentioned, I'm sure you've talked about this in betting your future. I just like the positional synergy that they have for the most part. When you've got guys like Kalkbrenner and Knipple and Liam McNeely, like those are three guys, even though they're rookies, I think positionally they all kind of fit together. It's a pretty good group of dudes. Obviously, to John Salon on their roster as well, their first round pick from last year, should be able to thrive in a setting like this too. Good defender. So I kind of like that. So, you know, I didn't want to come into this with like 10 futures on Summer League teams because that's ridiculous. So instead with Charlotte, I decided like, you know what, let me just kind of back them game to game and see, instead of missing out on maybe the Charlotte future, let me see if I can get something out of this if I'm right in liking their roster. So I took a piece of them tonight here too. And I think, wasn't there some question about whether Ace Bailey was going to play today or not? I think he still is. But just double check because we see this all the time. You know, I tell the story where Kelly and I were sitting in the stands during a Summer League game while they were warming up. It was Pistons and Raptors. And guys, that was the year they had Jaden Ivey, they had James Wiseman, and they had Asar Thompson. And we're watching them warm up, and we're like, I don't see any of those three guys that are warming up right now. In fact, they're not on the bench. I went down, looked. They weren't even out there on the floor. We bet Toronto plus 6.5 and walked away a winner. So even if the market doesn't account for it, sometimes it just misses it because there's not that much information out there.
Yeah, that's a great angle for sure. I mean, this is where like Twitter is obviously huge, and you need to follow like beat writers and, you know, like Underdog NBA is awesome as well. Coming up tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, Chicago and Toronto. There's a move on this game as well. I think that year high, if I'm not mistaken, on the Raptors coming up this next year in the regular season. They moved from a 5.5 point favorite tonight to 6.5.
I think I'm high on them as much as you can be for a team that is projected as much as like where they're at, right? Like, you know, it feels like that's a roster for a regular season where they should be better than, what are they floating around, like 32.5, 34.5 wins? Like, I feel like that's a team that could push for 40 wins if everybody's going to play. We got the report today that Brandon Ingram was pain-free in the ankle that apparently was the worst ankle sprain ever and left him out of the last second half of the season, especially when he got traded. So I'll be curious there. I'm also kind of oddly curious about this group too. When you look at everything that they have coming back here, some of the guys that have some length on them in terms of NBA play, or at least just been out of college, Jamison Battle, Jamal Shed, Jacoby Walter, Shed amongst them, I think the most interesting piece of the Summer League team. And then some of the other guys too, like Tyson Degenhart, for those who didn't watch him at Boise State. My man's a big dude who can score and can shoot. I think that's a pretty interesting piece to have in a format like this. So I'll be curious to see if they can actually pull this off. And Clifford Amarillo, too, coming out of Alabama. Like, there's some guys on this roster that I think can fit. But I will say, Mitch, I've kind of come off of I really think Toronto can be, like, better than what they thought, or than what I thought at least, only because you did get the weird report, I think it was, like, either last night or early today, that RJ Barrett's time is, like, limited. Like, they're going to move off of him, potentially, if that's going to be the case. And I don't know what this roster looks like by the time we get to the end of the regular season. And that gives you some trepidation to bank in on them on an over for a win total regular season-wise. 3
other games coming up a little bit later on tonight as well. Do you like anything there? And are you looking at all for player props? I think I noticed yesterday when you were live on the air for games that were coming up in an hour or so, I couldn't really find any player props anywhere here in this state.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking at the player props. Like, I'll be perfectly honest. A lot of these games, outside of, hey, I'm evaluating these teams and like I feel like they're a little bit better than the market's giving them credit for, or information, I'm just writing these futures because I feel confident in like evaluation of the rosters as opposed to trying to find some player props. I will say Golden State 2 was another one of those rosters though where I was looking over it and I'm like, man, I kind of like these guys too, right? Like you have LJ Cryer on this roster. That's a really good piece to have. I like veteran ball handlers, right? LJ Cryer had a long college career. In a setting like this where you're first putting a team together, having a dude who can dribble at a really high level is actually going to help you out. You've got Isaiah Mobley on this roster as well. There's something to like about what he is bringing to the table too, among some other pieces. So I think that this Warriors team has some intrigue to where you're looking at them matching up with Portland, who they themselves have some interesting pieces overall, but not one that I'm really running to the table to going back. But Portland does have some guys that I'm going to be really interested to see how they operate, especially dudes that are a little long in the tooth by the standards for the Summer League, including, of course, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's probably going to lead the way for him. But I was oddly curious about Golden State overall, but have not been hunting for player props or anything like that.
Very cool. Enjoy the games tonight. Best of luck. You and Stormy are filling in for us next week. We're on vacation. Can you handle 3 hours, big guy?
Yes. Yes, I am. You know, it's funny. It's actually one of the arguments, and I don't know if you were there for it or not. We were in Omaha. I have been quietly pushing for 3 hours for Money Moves because I just love Stormy so much, and for some reason, Stormy just doesn't want to do it with me.
She doesn't want to. Well, just don't screw it up next week, okay? We got a good thing going here.
I promise. See, by the time you guys come back, you're going to be back at 4 a.m. It's going to go so bad.
Follow him on X at MeJVT. Thanks, pal, despite that comment. He was on the progressive guest line. Yeah, these numbers are moving all over, and the Hawks won that game. They won it by 7, right? 105-98.
Yeah.
Okay.
We grabbed +5 outright to start the day. And then how about that nightcap? Where the Kings were getting 4.5. They won 111-70.
We'll get to our best bets, in-pocket plays coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, powered by BetterHelp.
He knows the quarterback was on coke if his girlfriend was not.
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right, have a good weekend. Let's rock and roll. Alcaraz to win Wimbledon. It was $1.60 when he had the Sinner elbow injury. As we wind up Alcaraz against Sinner here, and it looked like it didn't bother him the last 2 matches. He was incredible today, Sinner, taking out Joker in straight sets. But I'm fine with Alcaraz, 5-0 in finals of majors, going for his 3rd straight Wimbledon title. What are we going to say about this guy when it's all said and done? If he wins Sunday, he would have 6 majors at 22.
Yeah, that's the thing. Only 22 years old.
Yes. He's won 24 matches in a row. I think Alcaraz gets it done Sunday, and I think Iga, -3.5 games, takes out the American Amanda Samova, to start early on Saturday as well. Should have been Sabalenka, but she blew it. Giants tonight. Webb at home is phenomenal. May on the road, ERA of 6. The losing streak will reach 7 for the first time since 2017 for the Dodgers. And I'm going Blue Jays team total over 5.5 tonight. Gave you all the information about Severino. They've lost 10 of his last 11 starts, and then at home, 0-8, an ERA of 7 and change. The total open 10.5. It's up to 11. Team total over 5.5 for the Jays. I see it playing out, hopefully, like the Red Sox series did against Colorado. Blowout, and they get theirs offensively.
All right. My apologies. The horrendous run is now lingering 2+ months for me. Awful baseball betting season. 2 losers last night. Look, this was part handicap, but also a numbers play as well. Brian Wu under 17.5 outs, despite him recording at least 18 outs in every single start this year going into last night's game. We talked about this game earlier. A little shaky in the first. Aaron Judge came to the plate with 2 on, nobody out. They had a chance to really get his pitch count up and do some damage in the first. Tip my cap to that kid. He got out of it, settled down. Then a no-no took place into the 8th inning, and somehow I can't get over that loss. I didn't have the Mariners. I'm stunned that I didn't. But hopefully nobody's tailing me. In fact, I hope that you're going against me and fading me and betting the other side here lately. It's been so ugly. Diamondbacks against the Padres. No good. Vasquez good enough last night. And so I have nothing. Vacation starts in 7 minutes. Thank God. Because my bets have been as bad as it gets, man.
Sorry to hear that. Football right around the corner. And when we come back, that's it, right? I'm out. I am out. I think I have a Friday off in August, and I'm through the Super Bowl now.
Oh, is that right?
I've used it all up, baby. I'm ready to go now.
I was smart this year. I hung on to one more week.
Sure.
In August.
That's an interesting way to play it, yep. But
yeah.
I'm good to go in August, and I love preseason football as well, so it's right around the corner. And we got a game July 31st. And get our NFL betting guide, over 90 pages, phenomenal. Obviously, previews of every team, division previews, season win total breakdowns, best bets from trusted VSiN experts, player props, betting projections, everything you need to bet smarter all season long. Lock it in, 175 football special through the Super Bowl. Every betting guide, every dog video, every best bet, every host, every guest, the morning email from Bill 80, the data, the tools. It expires July 31st. Don't wait. Get the special through the Super Bowl. VSiN.com/subscribe for 175. VSiN.com/subscribe. He was second overall in chips. Now he's 14th. The guy Deeb hates Casso. I said if he makes the final table, my God, the most polarizing player in poker. So here's what, you asked me what it is. Here's the definition of speech play. And the guy never shuts up the whole time during the hand. Speech play refers to using verbal communication strategically to influence opponents' decisions, often by providing false information or attempting to induce certain actions. It's a way to gain an edge by exploiting opponents' tendencies and reactions rather than relying solely on the strength of one's hand. And this guy, he does a hell of a job. Some of this I think what was outlawed with Jamie Gold was talking about what you actually have. And he would actually say at times.
Oh, he would tell him. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And they're like, are you really telling me what you have?
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of times he was.
He was. But how was that allowed, though? How is what that guy does, how is that allowed at the poker table?
What do you have a problem with?
The fact that he's like misleading or maybe even like lying or whatever.
Yeah.
Why? How? Why is that allowed? I don't know. I don't play poker.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like obviously they need to get the fine print back and say, by the way, has anybody ever told them to shut the bleep up?
Oh, well, yo, God, please, come on. The one thing to do this too is because he takes 10 minutes. This goes on and on, but it's how he does it with a game plan is calling the clock on the guy. Just keep calling the clock on him. So you would have a problem with that.
There's no way I could watch that if he makes the final table. Zero.
Interesting.
I despise it. That to me is getting the whole guy in a golf tournament.
Okay. So if I'm playing, if we're at the same table, we're at the final table.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, obviously I'm going through your hand. I'm put you on ace jack. You go for a straight flush. You didn't get it. I have and I'm talking about what I have or what I don't have, and then I say, hey, if you fold, I'll show one, I'll show two. Do I have the best of it?
I find no enjoyment in that whatsoever.
No, but I'm saying, do you think that's over the line, though?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't want any table talk, to be honest. Maybe some hey, small talk, but nothing like that at the table. I just
put the buds in.
It's a personal thing. It drives me nuts.
Put the buds in, and
I have to do that. Yeah, crank Metallica the whole time.
Yeah. So $10 million on the line for first place. They're down to one female. I believe Celine Dion's son is still in it, and there are about 140 people left.
What's interesting is that I made, I think, the final 25 of that Greg Maddox poker tournament up here at Circle last month. And the thing about poker that that drives me nuts is that I fold so many hands. I mean, I was getting crap pretty much the entire night. But that's the way it goes, though, right? You're going to fold so many, an alarming amount of hands. You just got to say, I can't play that.
That's why I love watching poker on television, but it has to be edited.
Oh, for sure.
When you're watching it live, that's all. It's fold, raise, fold, out. I mean, everything's short. Rarely do you get the fireworks between people.
Do you have any plans for vacation?
Yeah. Got a blackjack tournament. Got cabana, some people in town.
Oh, you get a cabana. Nice. Okay.
Got that. Yep. You?
Yeah, I'll be in the blackjack tournament with you next week. I plan on reading a couple of books.
I'm going to read Munchkin's book.
Okay, I want that when you're done because I also am going to whack down Michael Kaplan's book on advantage players.
I finished it.
Okay, I'm going to read that, and also I'll get to as much of Warren Sharp's NFL preview book that I possibly can. It's like 550 pages.
Yes.
And this is something that I absolutely cannot and will not read like 6 hours of in one day. You need to pick a couple of 3 teams and then highlight stuff and make notes of it and then just clear your head for a little while. At least that's been the best way that I've approached it. And I think he's going to put me on probably 3 or 4 more win totals is my guess.
Yeah.
Last year
Lou Finicaro finished it, and what he took away was several win totals and one that he loves so much, and he's going to wait to share it, but because he thinks it's going to move. And
I will say this.
Yep.
Last year was the best season I've ever had betting win totals. I had one loser. I think I had 6. I was 6-1. A lot of that had to do with his book. Not all of it. A lot of it had to do with reading his book on these teams. So it's incredible, but I don't know how Lou did he break it all. You can't read it all at once.
Yeah.
You'll go mad.
I'm also, you know this because you know how we feel about dogs. I'm also, I don't want to go anywhere. Because we went to Omaha, and then for the second time, Jordan was attacked at daycare by a bully.
Is that, you mean an American bully or from just
a bully? The dog was playing the role of the bully.
How bad?
Right, picking on him. Swollen, eye swollen.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Jordan doesn't hurt a fly, right?
Yeah, I know, but he's aggressive. Yeah, I know. He's fine. He's a great guy. But this is just the person who runs the daycare. There was a bone in the corner. They both went for it. The dog's bigger. And then the other one was, it seemed innocuous, but it was something over a toy or something.
Aye.
And it's just like, I'm frustrated though, right? It's like you have one job. You got one job. You're running a daycare. You got to separate these guys.
I know.
And they already had an altercation already.
Sure.
Jordan loves people, a nicest guy, but nice kid. But it's too bad. Yeah, I pick him up. They got blood on his ear.
Oh,
I go,
boy.
what the hell happened? I mean, you gotta fill me in on this.
Was he shaking?
And then it was when I got
that?
the one of the. Yeah, it was okay. It could have been worse. Wouldn't let me touch it. The swelling goes down.
But
then
no serious damage, though.
Yeah, I mean, I drop him off right away. Soon, half hour later, the phone call comes in. Oh yeah, we had an incident. I go again.
Oh boy.
I don't. It's you're trusting these people big time.
Maybe a new daycare then.
I know.
Maybe. All right, that's it for us. Stay tuned. Primetime next. I think it's Humans and Will Hill tonight for 4 hours. Cashing Out follows. And then the VSiN Weekend Morning Line begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern with Tim Murray right here on VSiN. Have a great week. Great job by everybody in the back as always. JVT and Stormy will hold down the fort next week. Take care.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/zip. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/zip to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/zip.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, powered by BetterHelp.